We are very, very happy to see you all. I know for many of us, this is the first time being out to celebrate community, and we couldn't have a better time to celebrate our community. And it is my great pleasure to introduce Patty Garbarino, who is the chair of the North Bay Leadership Board and president of Marin Sanitary Services. Patty.
Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you, everyone. It's wonderful to be here, right? To be together. Hey, Ken. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you again on behalf of the North Bay Leadership Council. This is our 14th Leaders Day, and we all get to be together, right? Isn't this cool? It's just wonderful. A lot has happened since 2019, since we were together last. And I think it's important now, as we honor these remarkable people and organizations, to remember that our community has been through a great deal. A lot of sorrow, disruption, and stress. We've suffered many blows, but none worse than the loss of 1 million of our fellow Americans to COVID. And Cynthia told me this morning, I think we hit the 1 million mark today, many of whom died alone. We've not grieved this loss together, but we would like to take a moment of silence to remember those we lost. Sorrow shared is sorrow divided, so we share this pain together, so it is divided among us. So please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. Joy shared is joy multiplied. So now I want to multiply the joy among us by sharing the celebration of the best of humanity in the North Bay. Today, the North Bay Leadership Council is proud to be honoring 6 recipients who, as individuals and organizations, have been leaders in making the North Bay a better place to live and to work. These leaders are role models for how to solve the problems we confront in the North Bay and beyond. These honorees have made valuable contributions to the North Bay's economic and environmental ecosystem, social fabric, and well-being. From these honorees, we will see leadership in fighting climate change and improving the health of the natural environment, building a stronger community through service, especially to our youth, empowering the Latinx community by addressing inequities in access to the internet that hinders education, work, and connection to others. An amazing innovator who is bringing farming into the 21st century, cutting through red tape to make a community college really serve the needs of the community, and recognizing a man who has been the go-to guy for help by numerous nonprofits, educational institutions, and business groups, like this one, and has shaped the North Bay's web of social support and resiliency for decades. We are excited for you to meet these individuals and organizations who've stepped forward to make things change for the better. They are the leaders, innovators, helpers, public servants, and activists. These leaders are the heart and soul of the North Bay. And now let's also remember that today's luncheon would not be possible without the incredible generosity of our sponsors. We would like to thank our platinum sponsors, Bank of America, Comcast California, Marin Sanitary Service, Providence Sonoma County, Redwood Credit Union, Sutter Health, and our gold sponsors, BioMarin Pharmaceutical, Kaiser Permanente, Sonoma Raceway, and our silver sponsors, the Bank of Marin, Cornerstone Properties, Nelson Family of Companies, and Sonoma State University. So how about a warm welcome of applause for them? And now you get Cynthia back.
Thank you, Patty, and thank you all for being here today. Today is a day of celebration. We celebrate leadership, we celebrate optimism, and we celebrate hope. And I always believe that every act of leadership is an act of optimism. We lead with that in mind, that we can make things better, we can move things forward, we can solve problems, and we can find a better way. And today we will see examples of people doing just that very thing. So listen today, when we meet these leaders, how they are the purveyors of hope, and how they're the ones who respond to challenges with optimism. And indeed, these leaders are expert problem solvers and fearless actors who have made positive change in the world. North Bay Leadership Council is very proud to celebrate these unsung heroes who have given so much of their lives to make the future brighter, just, and compassionate. But first, we have to honor some of our elected officials and their staff who are joining us here today. We are delighted to have, and I'm going to ask those of you who are here to stand up. Those of you who are watching virtually, we appreciate you. But stand up and we'll hold your applause to the end. So from the Office of Congressman Huffman, we have District Director Jenny Callaway and District Rep Ciara Emery. From Congressman Mike Thompson's, we have District Director Rebecca Hermosillo. Rebecca? Okay, hold your applause to the end because they may not be online and not here. From Senator Bill Dodd's office, Senior Field Rep Logan Pitts. We have from Office of Assemblymember Aguiar Curry, Senior Field Rep Laura Beltran. Office of Assemblymember Mark Levine, Field Rep Anna Tamayo. From the County of Marin, we have Supervisor Dennis Rodoni. From the County of Sonoma, Supervisor Linda Hopkins. College of Marin Trustee Wandine Trainer, City of San Rafael Councilmember Micah Lorenz Giulotti, and boy, did I just blow that name, I'm so sorry. And from City of Santa Rosa, Mayor Chris Rogers. Let's give him a round of applause. For those of you who aren't familiar with North Bay Leadership Council, we are an employer-led public policy advocacy organization committed to providing leadership in ways to make the North Bay sustainable, prosperous, and innovative. North Bay Leadership Council members recognize the importance of leadership to find common ground, build consensus, and create effective solutions. Our members strive not only to lead by example, but also to recognize leadership in others. This award celebration is a recognition of our deserving honorees, but also an effort to help foster a culture of leadership within our region. One way North Bay Leadership Council is fostering leadership is through our Youth Power Speech Contest. The goal of this contest is to encourage teens to speak about a cause that's important to them and to describe what they are doing to improve the situation that they identified. The prize for winning the contest is a $5,000 college scholarship and to be the keynote of today's event. The runner-ups also receive a scholarship. Our winner is Hollis Belger. Hollis is amazing, and I can't wait for you to meet her. She is a philanthropy advocate, a public speaker, and researcher, and she found her purpose young in life. At the age of 9, Hollis founded Juggling for Jude, a soccer juggling fundraiser for St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. In addition to raising more than $500,000. Let me repeat, $500,000. And let me emphasize, so far, she's not done. She has raised awareness worldwide about the hospital and the fight against pediatric cancer. Hollis speaks to students and athletes around the Bay Area, encouraging them to find causes they care about and to make use of passions, talents, and interests as avenues for giving. Here's a comment from Hollis. My experience as a young philanthropist in the world of childhood cancer and an advocate for youth and philanthropy have allowed me to continue generating new avenues for contribution and exploration, even during the pandemic. In places like Marin, with our hyper-focus on outcome-driven path of achievement, We haven't paid enough attention to developing purpose in teens, helping my generation sustain interest engagement in something meaningful to us and beneficial to our community and society as a whole. A wonderful, wonderful insight. Hollis has won a number of international, national, and regional awards, and they go on and on. Please read your program to get the full list, and that's not even the full list. And she's also been featured in media outlets like NBC, Nightly News with Lester Holt, Inspiring Kids, Sports Illustrated Kids Magazine, and many more. Outside of her fundraising, research, and public speaking, Hollis is an avid dancer and an instructor at Roco Dance in Mill Valley with a specialty in hip hop. Please join me in welcoming Hollis Belger, the winner of our Youth Power Speech Contest.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you, Cynthia, for that wonderful introduction to the North Bay Leadership Council. Thank you for making this event possible in person. I'm so honored to be here, and I'm really excited to share my story with you all today. Okay. 7-year-old Liv visits St. Jude Children's Research Hospital for regular scans. Her dad emailed me, thanking me for supporting the hospital that saved his daughter's life. Sending Liv a custom soccer ball, I later received a video of her giggling and juggling. 2 consecutive touches, peach fuzz for hair. But before our first FaceTime, Liv's dad texted me a heads up. Scans revealed spots on 2 of Liv's vital organs. From 3,000 miles away, Liv showed me her newly conquered gymnastics backbend. Her hair was then wavy, gap-toothed smile reassuring, evidence of normal milestones. I drew from every part of myself, keeping Liv laughing. This was familiar territory for me, but I was struggling not to visualize those spots. And recently, Liv sent me a video of her learning some new tricks on a gymnastics bar that she got for Christmas. But in that video, her hair wasn't so wavy anymore. At age 8, a budding competitive soccer player, I started learning to juggle my soccer ball in support of developing my skills. My mom, a former Division I soccer player, happily joined me on my juggling outings. As my naturally persistent, okay, maybe a little obsessive personality kicked in, I was getting some pretty high numbers for a beginner. It became clear that I had a special knack for juggling, and when my mom told me about childhood cancer in St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, I wanted to help. St. Jude is the only hospital in the world that treats kids with cancer free of charge, including kids in the Bay Area, and their emphasis on hope and global outreach inspired me to contribute. But I was also struck that kids just like me had their lives turned upside down in an instant. They went to school, played sports, hung out with their friends, all things healthy kids did, and then they couldn't. I can now juggle my soccer ball for a pretty long time. I mean, a really long time. My record is actually 7,157 consecutive soccer juggles. No drops. Early on, getting the highest number of consecutive juggles at practice was nice, but the idea of helping kids with cancer is what drove this obsession with juggling. I found a way to connect the two, starting a fundraiser I named Juggling for Jude, through which I collected donations in exchange for juggles. I started by researching the hospital and its mission, and gathering inspiration to share with potential donors. I reached out to contacts in my community, started a blog, asked my mom to post videos of me on social media, I was too young to have my own account at the time, and juggled like crazy. With some giving as much as $1 per juggle, my records now really mattered. But it was meeting kids like Kayla, a St. Jude brain cancer survivor who was my age, and seeing her courage and perseverance gave new meaning to my work. She and her family were the first of many St. Jude families that I met, whose stories brought meaning to my life, filled me with a sense of purpose, and drove my commitment. Knowing that I was raising funds and awareness for the hospital that saved Kayla's life drove my commitment to helping St. Jude. I loved knowing that my efforts can make a difference, especially for kids like Kayla. As Cynthia mentioned, through the support of more than 5,000 super generous donors across 6 continents in 7 years, I have now raised more than $580,000 for the hospital. Thank you. Thank you. And while my goal has been and is to make a difference for kids with cancer, something unexpected also happened. I've gained a sense of purpose. Making use of my skills for something bigger than myself has become a gift to me as well. Being a part of an effort to create change for people in need has profoundly impacted my life. Through this effort, I've been exposed to the best elements of collaboration and social partnership. It has introduced me to great minds in science and the most generous people in philanthropy. I've witnessed how families and communities come together to face unthinkable challenges. I've been a part of a movement. The result of one person's mission, St. Jude founder Danny Thomas, has become a shared purpose across geographic, racial, religious, and socioeconomic divides. Being introduced to such collective goodness has empowered me to do my part. And this experience is not exclusive to St. Jude or to me. This is an experience we can all cultivate and create. Over time, I found that doing something meaningful led to purpose, to a sense that what I was doing mattered and made a difference. A couple of years ago, I discovered research of Dr. William Damon, professor of education at Stanford University and director of the Stanford Center on Adolescence. He's devoted much of his professional life to studying the development of purpose in teens. Dr. Damon and his colleagues define purpose as a, quote, a stable and generalized intention to accomplish something that is at once meaningful to the self and of consequence to the world beyond the self, end quote. He talks about the importance of cultivating purpose in adolescence, and he presents extensive research demonstrating that teens with a purpose are happier, more motivated, and more emotionally grounded than those without. I'm grateful that I had a purpose, especially during the pandemic. It allowed me to stay involved in something greater than myself. I took online courses in philanthropy and nonprofits and started researching strategies for fundraising outreach. And after hundreds of emails, social media posts, and videos and blogs, a global virtual juggling challenge that I started attracted participants across 6 continents. I was also introduced to a 76-year-old psychophysicist, I didn't even know there was such a thing, who offered to teach me his research on human decision-making. Howard Moskowitz, PhD, was the subject of a pretty famous TED Talk by Malcolm Gladwell on spaghetti sauce. Back in the day, Dr. Moskowitz had discovered that some people wanted lumpy spaghetti sauce, while others wanted smooth, generating a run of Prego sauces. Experimenting for Tropicana, he found that some people wanted pulp in their orange juice, and Tropicana Grove Stand was born. Basically, Dr. Moskowitz found that there were clusters of wanting. Later, he applied his research to ideas and noticed the same kind of clustering. He calls them mindsets, from spaghetti sauce to voting preferences, from orange juice to which messages will make you donate to a charity. Dr. Moskowitz taught me his research methodology so I could conduct market research for nonprofits. Of course, my focus has been on helping St. Jude. And at Dr. Moskowitz's urging, I'm also training a team of other teen and young adult researchers to help organizations of their choosing, to help research messaging that might attract donors and volunteers. When I was in Zoom school, there was a surprising advantage. I learned that I could schedule meetings during lunches and study halls, which allowed me to engage in the adult world of corporations and nonprofits. I sometimes felt like a bit of a superhero, changing outfits, seamlessly traveling from Zoom school, then Zoom work in seconds. The kind of learning and contributing that I did and continue to do is the kind of learning that you just don't typically get in regular school. I learned that there is no substitute for having your work mean something in the real world, beyond grades in a classroom. I absolutely loved it. But I noticed that in many high schools, students often get funneled towards surface-level mandated community service hours, like one-off volunteer work, like feeding Thanksgiving meals to the homeless or spending an hour collecting trash on the beach for a class or a graduation requirement. And don't get me wrong, these are great ways to spend some time. But research shows that fleeting, mandated, one-off efforts like these can actually deter people from longer-term, more profound philanthropic work. So, how can we make meaningful outreach standard practice for teens? We need to see the road set before us as just one of many, the usual activities as just one set of possibilities. So often we are guided by what our parents set out before us as the right opportunities, and we aren't encouraged to create and explore our own. We need to test the waters more, dabble in something new, and then zoom into whatever works. No pun intended. We need to be trying on new causes as often as we try on new outfits. We need to embrace a spirit of curiosity about the world and contribute in ways that access our personal resources and sync with our values, interests, and empathy. Exploring avenues for engagement can feel unsettling. Curiosity in general can feel unsettling. But for me, even the most extreme detours have led to real opportunity for discovery and for purpose. But here's the thing. Fostering purpose in teens takes commitment. It takes time, money, mentorship. It requires a belief in the concept and its importance. It means taking a leap that maybe doing something like obsessively soccer juggling is a ticket to impact rather than a distraction. It means that parents and educators must emphasize exploration of paths less traveled as much as achievement outcomes. It means understanding that the pursuit of purpose and school success are not mutually exclusive, and the former is just as essential to scaffold as the latter. It means appreciating how much we teens have to offer, encouraging us to be curious, explore, and develop our own passions and interests. Research suggests that purpose often comes through exploring personal values and imagining changes that you want to see in the world. Using this understanding to drive civic engagement and societal benefit is a great way to discover one's value in the world, a critical element of purpose. My proposal would involve classes focused on self-discovery of values and desired purpose, cultivating necessary skills, and mentorship by connecting teens with community nonprofits or civic organizations. I know how eager my generation is to dive in. Trust me, we are. Would this be logistically challenging? Yes. But research like Dr. Damon's is pretty compelling. Teens are suffering from a lack of purpose. We all have so much to gain. My future will certainly lead me to the philanthropy and social impact sector. This could take the form of a social impact consultant to businesses, helping corporate and entrepreneurial leaders develop and execute sustained philanthropic arms of their missions. Or it could involve a career in nonprofit leadership, collaborating with a team, working toward a common goal through innovative approaches grounded in passion, dedication, and proven methodologies. Regardless of the path I take longer term, I will be attending Stanford University, majoring in public policy and ethics and society with a minor in dance. After a gap year during which I will explore the American Southwest, work for my parents' small business, and continue my efforts for St. Jude as a part of the Northern California Development Committee, and take a breath from all the work I did in high school. And no matter what primary career roles I embrace in my future, I intend to continue as a public speaker, advocating for the prioritization of philanthropy and education, and youth engagement in social impact efforts. I am forever committed to the fight against childhood cancer, and I know that I will continue my work for St. Jude in one or many capacities throughout my lifetime. Because patients and friends like Liv, you'll remember her from my opening story, serve as constant inspiration for me. Recently, Liv turned 8, and she was able to go to Disney World in between her cancer treatments. When Dr. Moskowitz was a PhD candidate during research at Harvard, he turned the default experimental paradigm upside down. Instead of going in with a hypothesis, he went in with curiosity. No preconceived notions, no roadmap or path. He was just going in to see what would surface. This shift was a big deal then and still is today. He tells me, you will learn something new every single time. How cool would it be if we harness the inherent sense of wonder within teens by encouraging their unique passions and purpose to grow? I bet if we do, something new and meaningful will emerge. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Unbelievable. Hollis, Belger, don't go away yet. Don't go away. I hope that you're as impressed with Hollis as we were. We couldn't be more thrilled to give Hollis a check for $5,000 for scholarship to Stanford. I told you this event was going to be about hope and optimism. If this doesn't make the future look bright, I don't know what does. Thank you so much, Hollis.